What's going on, everybody? Matthew Moniz here, and right in front of me I have the brand new Sony Xperia XZ3. I've been dying to get my hands on this ever since I've seen it at IFA. A lot of people don't review Sony phones anymore, but I'm gonna continue to do so because I personally think they're very underrated. Boom! There it is, the XZ3 in all of its glory. I love the way this thing looks with its beautiful silver and white finish. Now I'm gonna put it to the side. We're gonna see what's in the box. And all we have here is a little bit of paperwork. Actually, okay, that's the most depressing amount of paperwork. But we don't care about paperwork. We're men and women. We have brains of our own. We can figure things out. USB Type-C. And of course, we get the charging brick. Now, I don't think this is fast charging. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, I'm really hoping that in the retail version of this device, there'll be a fast charger, because if this is the case, that's not a good thing, Sony. You gotta put a fast charger in your box, especially considering the amount of money people are paying for this smartphone. Ah, gorgeous. I love it. Now this is a very unique design. I love the little divots going around the edges on the device. It gives this nice little groove to the phone. The back is all glass, and just like the XZ2, it does support wireless charging. The first thing I notice is the fingerprint scanner. It is in the same terrible position as it is on the XZ2, on the XZ2 Premium, and the XZ2 Compact. You really have to bring your finger all the way down to access it. It just isn't the best location to place one. I would have loved the camera to be a little bit higher, and the fingerprint also to be a little higher, making it a lot more natural to get to. Now the front, this is the biggest deal about this device. This is the first time we've seen a Sony phone have an OLED display. And from what I understand, it's a very beautiful display. 6 inches, so slightly bigger than the display on the XZ2, which is 5.7. The XZ2 Premium, for context, is 5.8, and look how big this phone is. And that's because it's using the traditional 16:9 aspect ratio. And of course, we have the smaller XZ2 Compact, which is probably, to be honest, one of my favorite Sony phones of 2018. Now, besides that, you're getting the exact same camera, the exact same specs as the XZ2. However, there is a 6GB RAM model that's available in Taiwan. So it's not gonna get any different pictures than you would on the other devices. So the phone is finally loaded up, and the first thing that I noticed is this gorgeous display. Sony has completely moved away from LCD panels and are now using OLED, P-OLED to be specific, and by God, is it absolutely gorgeous. I wouldn't be surprised if it's almost as good as the display on a Galaxy Note device or even the iPhone XS. Now there's a slight blue shift, which is typical between most OLED panels, but quite honestly, it just looks really great. Now some of you might be saying, Matt, what is up with those bezels? Now, quite frankly, yes, there's bezels there compared to other newer devices, but they're not that bad. In fact, I got Ash over here and he was looking at it and he was saying, Matt, these are some nice bezels. In fact, the contour and the shape of them is better than any other phone on the market right now that has bezels. The glass goes into the side of the phone very beautifully. It feels great to hold in the hand. And of course, you have that awesome shutter button that you get on all your Sony devices. Now we're gonna do a couple of tests. And the first one is the sound test. So to give you guys some context, the sound is really great. It's not as loud as the Note 9 or the iPhone XS, but it has the same sound spectrum as the iPhone XS. So if you don't mind the volume being a little bit lower, but still sounding great, that's exactly what you're gonna get out of this thing. So on the back, we have the exact same 19 megapixel camera that you're gonna get on the XZ2, which means the front-facing camera is gonna be exactly the same. In fact, let's do a little selfie test to see how I look today. Boom. There's also a new mode button, which allows you quickly to get to your portrait selfie, which is something you couldn't do before on the XZ2. So I'm glad Sony was finally able to make it work with a single lens. Now, besides that, 4K HDR video recording, something that no other smartphone can do right now. In fact, it's hands down the best video you can record on a smartphone. I'd take this 4K HDR recording over the 4K recording you get on the iPhone XS. In fact, if this phone was ranked on DxOMark, I wouldn't be surprised if it hit the top 3 cameras. So that's pretty much it for the camera. The only other thing I want to mention is Sidesense, which is Sony's way of allowing you to use the edge of the screen to get to shortcuts. So you double tap the side of the phone and basically this menu loads up and it gives you quick access to certain features like your notification settings and of course your applications. Now since we're talking about software, it's running the latest version of Android, so Android Pie. And if you've used a Sony phone before, you know they don't go too heavy on the theming. Everything is minimalistic, it looks good. I mean, like, look at this menu. It has a nice black and blue theme going on it. There's no crazy skin bothering you. You swipe to the right, you get your Google Now notifications and your news stories. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad Sony is keeping things clean. There's also a 3300 milliamp battery, so that has me kind of worried considering this is a 6-inch device. I don't know what battery is gonna be like, but I'm hoping we get through the entire day. I mean, with all the other Sony devices, I was able to get through a day plus a little bit more without having to worry about charging. Micro SD card slot for external storage if you want to bump things up. This one comes with 64 gigabytes. And of course, if you live in Taiwan, you have the option to buy it with 6 gigabytes of RAM. So that pretty much wraps up for my first impressions of the Sony Xperia XZ3. I gotta commend Sony. They built a beautiful phone. Some may argue the bezels are a bit too big, but I personally think they are symmetrical, they look good, the phone feels great in the hand, and I wish Sony released this phone 6 or 7 months ago because quite frankly, the other ones are not really necessary except for the XZ2 Compact. That's a beautiful device as well. Anyways, if you liked the video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you want to see some behind the scenes, follow me on Instagram. If you want to talk about your mom, maybe your girlfriend, your significant other, hit me up on Discord. I'll have a conversation with you. And as always, I will see you in the next video.